Hey everyone, it's Cash Miller for another edition of CSN. Today, we have a very special guest to help analyze my mock draft 2.0, my Uncle Jalen. He's going to be
Hello?
helping us out. He's going to be helping us out with, a mock draft. So, I'll be doing my pick and then he'll be doing his pick, right?
Yep, that works.
All right. So, do you want to start off with number 10 or do I
Yeah,
have
you go first. You go first. Let's see
All
what you
right.
got.
I think you'll like this. At the number 10 pick, it's currently Chicago, but I have Seattle trading up with the Bears and getting McMillan. I can't pronounce his first name, but it's McMillan from Arizona. Really good wide receiver. What do you
Okay.
think?
Clearly I'm branded as the Seahawks guy here. To be
Bronco
honest,
guy.
that excites me a little bit. I am worried about how he's going to fit in the offense now with Cooper Cup coming in, JSN kind of stepping up as number one, and then Sam Darnold's still a big question mark. He's only had one good year, and hopefully he's not seeing ghosts and can get Tet McMillan the ball and score some touchdowns.
I was just thinking, because their receiver room is empty, and I know you probably weren't happy about that.
But it hurts. It hurts down to the core, man. I was hoping DK was a lifer. I was hoping Tyler was a liker, or
Yeah.
a lifer. But you know what? It's a business, I guess. So
Yep.
we move on.
Yep. We'll just have to. That I think that Arizona. I think that McMillan going to the Seahawks. He's a dual threat, and I should know. I'm a Buffs fan, and I've seen how good he is.
Yeah, he's from what I saw at the combine, he's pretty quick and he's big. He does not let a
Mm-hmm.
single inch go to waste, single pound go to waste. I think
Yeah.
he's what is he 6'4", ran a 4.4.
It's not.
He's gonna be another one of those Justin Jefferson kind of guys, just burning people deep. So I'd
And
love him to be a Seahawk. Don't get me wrong.
well, that's a good thing because Jefferson's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you have at number 10?
So at number 10, I don't have any trades going on here. So I have the Bears sticking and picking, and they've made it pretty clear this offseason that offensive line is their priority.
Yeah.
And I got them taking Will Campbell out of LSU. He's going to slot in at left tackle, protect Caleb Williams' blind side, and let him run to the right instead of the left. That offensive line is their weak spot. That's what's holding them back now. So hopefully not for the Seahawks' sake, but maybe for old Caleb Williams' sake, that Will Campbell will be a legend.
I did actually. Did you see the last mock draft? I did have Will Campbell go into the Bears.
See, that's perfect. Yeah,
Like
I
they,
think
they
it's
bolstered their O line this free agency.
yes, yeah. They mean they're trading like crazy for people. They're splashing money too. So
Yeah.
he kind of fits the bill. Just kind of solidifies it too.
One of my friends is a really big LSU fan, so I think he'll like that. That everyone's
Yeah,
ha-
LSU's pumping out the NFL prospects right now. It's cool.
yeah, like you got Joe Burrow. I can't remember who the other player was that went with him. Was it Mixon?
No, I think I don't know where Mixon went to school, but I know that Chase and
Yeah,
Jefferson were
yeah,
both LSU's.
yeah. All right, so at number 9, I have the New Orleans Saints. We don't have any more trades going on besides that last one. I have the Saints picking up Luther Burden Jr. from Mizzou. What do you think of that one?
That he's a speedy guy, man. He's gonna fit right in with Olave and Rashid Shaheed. Man, he's a burner. I didn't see what he ran at the combine, but that dude's quick. So I think that's going to be a good pick. They just got to get him someone who can throw the ball downfield. I don't
Yeah,
know if Derek Carr's got it left, man.
well, the Saints can't really drive without a car.
That's a good line. That's good.
hmm
Um,
I watched a couple of Luther Burden's games this year because I thought Mizzou had a really good chance, and then the Texas A&M game sent them going down the tubes. But Luther Burden's a really good wide receiver, and I see promise in him. I really have him going high for number 9. Think
yeah, he's a really good route runner. I think if their new offensive scheme, whoever comes in to replace Clint Kubiak, can utilize his skill set, maybe in the slot, I think that'd be really cool. He's got the world ahead of him for sure. That kind of speed, take advantage of it.
What was I gonna say? Kuiper has Jackson Dart going there. And if you can remember, I did have Jackson Dart go in the draft. This time I don't have him. But I do think Luther Burden is an elite wide receiver.
Yeah, he's going to be legit. And Jackson Dart isn't a far shout. I don't think
No,
I don't think he's going to go in the second or third round like people initially thought he was going to.
yeah, I think he's going first round. I saw a lot of belief in him. I was just thinking to myself one day, like, dang, why is no one talking about Jackson Dart? Like,
Ole Miss didn't win, man. You got to win in college.
mm-hmm. Who's your number 9 pick?
I got them taking linebacker Jihad Campbell. I know he's kind of a popular pick with some of the people at this spot. Their defense needs some help. They started off the season really well. I think outscoring people like 90 to something. I don't remember, but it kind of fell off at the end. And he's really good at the run. He had a. I don't remember how. I think he had like 3-4 sacks. So I mean, he can still get after the passer too. So he's. I think that he kind of that stalwart that they needed defense to kind of guide everybody on the right path. Maybe they're Bobby Wagner of the future. Who knows?
You're definitely putting in a lot of Seahawk.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I watch a lot of Seahawks football. That's all that's up here.
Yeah, their defense definitely looked like garbage, but they did destroy the Cowboys in week 2, which I thought they were all of a sudden like Super Bowl favorites, and then they decided they're gonna go off a cliff.
Yeah, they put everybody in the ambulance, and no, they didn't have anybody healthy left, man.
Yeah, no one.
When you've got Spencer Rattler finishing off the season for you, I don't think you had a very good year.
No.
Who you got at 8, man?
All right, I have Carolina, and I have them picking up Michael Williams, edge rusher from the University of Georgia. He's a darn good. Now, for a Big 12 fan, I will admit, I did watch a lot of SEC football this year.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. They definitely need to replace Brian Burns rushing the passer. They missed that this year. You could really tell, especially towards the end of the year when they started kind of getting better. They didn't look like a laughing stock as much once they got going there at the end. So that pick really works out on the defensive side for sure.
They do need to bolster their D line because, I mean, the Panthers need anything they can get. Like Bryce Young, I thought he was gonna like immediately take the Panthers back to relevancy, and then we saw the decline of the Panthers.
Yep. Unfortunately, Mr. Sam Darnold got a hold of that team before he did, so
Yeah,
it doesn't look great for me. But we'll see what's coming.
yeah.
I think that if I'm the Panthers GM here, I'm taking best player available. So, kind of depending on what's going on at the beginning, the top half of this draft, things could really change. And if he's the best player at the top of this draft, then their board looks maybe a little different than mine. But that's why they get paid millions, and I am not. So, hopefully that pick works out for him. But I think that's a smart pick on the D line for sure.
Agree. Who do you have going to the Panthers?
I went. I was thinking this one I struggled with, right? Because like I said, they're best player available in my opinion. So I kind of thought, yeah, I kind of was thinking, if I'm actually getting paid these millions, who am I gonna pick that's gonna give this team the best chance to win, sell jerseys, all that? I went and picked wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Texas. I think that their offensive weapons are very bad. They don't have anybody to throw to. I mean, Leggett was okay and Thielen was okay, but you're not going to win a Super Bowl with okay. So I think Matthew Golden, he's another big dude. I don't think he's quite as fast as like Mr. McMillan is, but he's just as big. He's a little beefier, so I think good red zone threat, small quarterback, tall wide receiver. Russell Wilson showed it can work. So maybe those two can too. It's a little more Seahawks for you.
I I don't know why I didn't think of Golden going in the top 10 at all. Like I completely forgot. There's so many good players this year. It's just
Oh yeah,
hard to
yeah,
like narrow it down to like just a few. And you never know, like you could have like a ton of offensive players and like no defensive players, or like you could have a ton of defensive players. Like
yeah. And in a season with or a draft with no, not a lot of quarterback talent at the top end, really kind of compacts everything in the top. So
yeah.
and this draft really has a lot of good receivers, I think. So I think the Panthers really just need to get. They need to sort out their offensive line. I think free agency is a little bit past that, and at this spot, I didn't really think that it was. You can't pass a kid like Matthew Golden. He's just a good dude. He comes from a good background, and he's just big, and you just can't pass up talent like that.
Too bad they just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. I was rooting for them so hard against Ohio State, and then our neighbor is actually a diehard Ohio State fan, and I am a Michigan fan. So we have a
Mm,
little we have our
yeah,
little.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm sure. Yeah, you bark at them from the backyard when Michigan beats them every year,
I
except for this
I
year, I think.
this year when they beat them, I went out front to get my glasses out of the truck, and he was pulling out. He rolled down his window and said, "Whatever," and I started going, "Hail to the victors, valiant."
Nice. That's funny, man. You got to keep them rivals on their toes, man.
Yeah, I actually mow for a ton of CSU fans, and at least we have bragging rights over them. That's
There you go. It's all about the bragging rights, man. As a fan, that's all you got.
yeah. All right. New York Jets have the 7 pick. I am gonna have them taking Will Campbell out of LSU to protect Justin Fields. What do you think about that?
I think that's really good, actually. I don't. I thought they had picked a left tackle recently, so I went actually to the other side. But I'll keep my name a secret for now. But I think that they've got to keep whoever is going to be throwing the ball for them protected. I don't know if Justin Fields is going to do a whole lot of throwing, but maybe that's the design. Will Campbell's a really good run blocker too, from what I can tell. So I think that that's going to work out really well for him and Brees Hall. That's a really solid pick. I like it.
Will Campbell is the top rated O lineman in the draft, and then it's an Ohio State kid. And I thought about doing him. I thought maybe not. But definitely Justin Fields needs to be protected under pressure because the Jets just do not have. I guess maybe it's a curse on MetLife Stadium. We do not know.
Yeah, MetLife is usually only kind to the Seahawks. So I'm going to sprinkle something in every pick. I just want you to know. But yeah, the two New York teams are just they're a mess, and I'm not sure their answers are in this draft. I don't know if they're in the next one either. But I have a soft spot in my heart for the Jets, so I hope it does. I'm glad that they moved on from Devontae and Rodgers. I don't think that was the path for them, but hopefully they get it right this year.
We saw what damage Nathaniel Hackett wreaked in Denver, and
Yes.
what what I was just thinking the other day was it really like Hackett, or was it like LaFleur and McCarthy and Rodgers? Like, was Hackett just
hmm
like a supporting figure? Like, no, I do not. Hackett couldn't hack it. Let's just say that.
Hey, man, you're good with them one-liners.
Yep.
All right. I think like I said, I went to the other side of this offensive line, and I took Membu Armand. He's another really solid run blocker. I think he went to OSU. I didn't look up what his school was. I just know the name, but he looks really good. My thought was that Justin Fields doesn't really like to see pressure coming, so if you can block the side that he sees, that maybe he can take off. But the blind side hurts more if you get hit from the blind side. So hopefully, I'm cool with either one of these. I think they both work. So I honestly, I hope they pick one of our picks. I hope they're listening for sure.
Yeah. If you're the New York Jets GM, please listen to us. We want the best for every team.
Yep.
Weren't they the team of like the 12-year-old GM? Like the 12-year-old was managing the team, or like
I know it looks like it. To be honest, their roster construction is awful. My 3-year-old daughter could probably build a better team than that, and she really wouldn't know anything. So, I don't know. It's quite the sight to behold. The kind of dumpster fire they got going on there, but
it's the
maybe
dumpster fire.
it's bad. Hopefully they get something figured out. Maybe this new coach comes with some structure. That's all I can say.
I was a little sad that Robert Sola got fired. I liked him. I thought he had promise, but
Yeah, unfortunately he went back to San Francisco, so I kind of wish he'd have stayed too.
all right. So at number 6 is our division foes, the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think you may have a tie with the Raiders now.
A few of them, unfortunately. I loved Pete. I loved Gino. It was time, man. Contract negotiations go that badly that you're not even getting counter offers. It's got time to go. Third round pick's really low, in my opinion, but at the same time, he's going to be 36 or 37 this year. So, I mean, third rounder's better than nothing, I guess. So, hard to complain, I guess.
Vegas is definitely making this division harder for the Broncos to win, but I do think the Broncos have a really good chance because of those disgusting Chiefs. But we're not going to talk about them. We're going to keep this. We're going to keep this with the regular draft teams. We're not going to get into the whole Chiefs argument. Let's just save the Chiefs argument for another day.
That sounds good.
Anyway, I have Vegas bolstering their running back position with Heisman runner-up Ashton Jeanty from Boise State. A lot of people thought he was going to get the Barry Sanders record, but I was like, do you not see that big team in like navy blue and white standing in their path? And that team is Penn State. I wouldn't have even recognized this record anyway because he did it in like 14. Barry did it in like 10. So what are your thoughts?
Actually, I also picked Ashton Jeanty for this one, so it's almost one of those things that you could announce before the draft really even starts. They got their quarterback; they don't really have to worry about what's going to happen with Shadur. They don't really have to worry about wasting any more draft picks going up to get Cam Ward. They don't have to reach for Jackson Dart, none of that. So their quarterback's taken care of, at least for now. Like I said, Gino's older. I mean, he just got a lot of tread on the tires because he hasn't been beat up his whole career because he was a backup for so long. But still, I think that running back is a really important position for what Pete likes to do. I mean, you saw it in Seattle for years, so I think Jeanty could be maybe a Marshawn Lynch type deal. He's not quite as powerful, but I mean, he's good. It's been a long time since I've seen running backs just bounce off of people like he does. It's just fun to watch, I guess. Yeah.
Genty's another. He's short, but he is so fast. Like, I wonder if like he and like Tyreek Hill should have a race. Like, see who's faster.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anybody beating the cheetah, man. That dude's I think he's got Olympic level speed, even with the pads on.
I can't wait for the 2026 Olympics.
I think so. Yeah, LA, I think, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. We both already have Ashton Jeanty, so we can move on to number 5. I have the Jaguars taking Will Johnson from Michigan. He's a cornerback from Michigan. He's a really good one. He's a ball magnet. He was pivotal in that win over Alabama and Ohio State. What are your thoughts?
That's really high, I thought, for a cornerback. I didn't see any I haven't seen any cornerbacks going that high in this draft cycle, but if anybody's gonna crack the top 10, it's gonna be him. he's pretty clear that he's the best cornerback in this draft class. No slouch or no disrespect to Mr. Travis Hunter, but as a pure cornerback, there's nobody better than this kid.
Yeah.
He's just sticky. That's the only way I can describe him. He's just, I mean, press, even giving him some space. It's just sticky. That's all I can call him. That's
The
a good pick.
Jaguars need a good defense. Why did I say offense? Defense. They need a really
They need both.
Yeah, they need both, actually. I'm pretty sure I featured them on the Dumpster Fire Game of the Week the most this year.
Yeah, they're they've got a lot. They've got so much promise, but they always fail me every year. Every year.
Look, I thought they were going to do so well, and I was so sad that they fired Doug Peterson.
I don't think Doug Peterson's really a head coach in this league. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with Philly,
He
but
did do well in his first Jacksonville.
yeah, they were okay. He's got one of the quarterbacks that everybody was so sure was going to be just generational, Peyton Manning kind of stuff, and he hasn't been that so far. And whether that's a Trevor Lawrence thing or if that was a Doug Peterson thing, but I mean, we kind of saw it with Carson Wentz too. He comes into the league, he looks really good, and then just is not anymore. So, yeah, exactly. Yep, straight downward trend.
The Broncos did blow the absolute snot, and I will say it again, snot out of the Chiefs when he was quarterback.
That's true. That's true. You know what? I'll take a Chiefs blowout any day. I don't care who does it.
Hallelujah. All right, who do you have at going to Jax?
I've got your boy Mason Graham going to down to Jacksonville. Jacksonville, he's going to be a good player, don't get me wrong, but they are going to make the wrong pick for them. I'm just so sure of it that I went this route. They need to go offensive line almost exclusively. They've got really good receivers. They pay them too much, but they've got good receivers. They've got the quarterback. They've got probably too many running backs too, but that's fine also. There's nothing creating the lane for any of those things to happen. In my opinion, if I was running that team, I would go offensive line. But I think they're going to go defensive line because that's what Jacksonville does to me. They go completely the opposite of what I think. So that's what I went with.
Completely the opposite.
Yep.
They do need a good O-line to your point. They do need a good O-line, but they also need a good defense. So I also had Mason Graham going pretty high. He might have been my last pick for Jacksonville in my last mock draft. We're getting pretty high. We're getting now to New England at number 4. I will give you one guess. Who do you think I have in New England?
I think you have someone different than me, but I think you have Travis Hunter.
Nope. I have Abdul Carter going to New England. They need a really good defense. They have the quarterback in Drake May. They have the head coach. Their offense is literally set up to go far. But what they need is a good defense. And I think that they have it right there in Abdul Carter. What are your thoughts?
I think that's incredibly lucky if the Patriots end up with Abdul Carter. That's mind-blowing almost. I mean, I can see a scenario in which that happens because of the people who are above him. That's a crazy good take. I hope it comes to fruition a little bit just because I want you to be right, but that's man, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to last that long, but I hope he does.
Well, that foot injury is what made me think his draft stock's gonna drop because of that foot injury. So we'll see. We'll see where he is. All right.
We'll see.
Who do you have at going to the Patriots?
So I was trying to bait you there when I said you might have someone different than me, but I actually have Travis Hunter here at 4. I don't necessarily think that See here, I might upset you here, and I'm really sorry in advance for this, but I don't necessarily think Travis Hunter belongs in the top five. I don't think maybe even in the top 10 if I'm a GM, but that's just my own personal opinion. I'm very much so. I firmly believe to be successful in the NFL, you have to be focused and you have to be focused on one thing. And I don't necessarily know if the situation he's coming from out of Boulder is going to be that for him. I think getting into New England is the perfect fit for him to develop that, and I think that if he's gonna, I think he's gonna have to choose. He's gonna either have to choose to play wide receiver, he's gonna have to choose to play defensive back, and have. I mean, that's awesome to have packages with both on either side of the ball. Um, but I think if there's a coach that can unlock him on the defense, it's going to be Mike Vrabel.
Great. Mike Vrabel's good on like both sides of the ball. We saw what he did with Tennessee, but Tennessee went from number one seed in the playoffs to number one pick in the draft
Yep.
fairly quickly. I think a lot of analysts are actually having Hunter go into the Patriots. I would say Hunter's better than Abdul Carter in a lot of ways. So not gonna lie, but I do think Hunter is definitely top three worthy. All right, let's go to the dumpster fire Giants, who probably finished second in the dumpster fire game of the week. That was a literal dumpster fire. Fans even thought that they were flying their private jets right over their stadium, saying, "Fix this dumpster fire now."
Yep.
Now if your fans are literally flying their private planes with banners attached to them over your stadium, maybe I think you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I have them picking up Shedeur Sanders from Colorado. Shedeur, one thing I'll say about him is he needs a good O-line. So I think that they need to draft a O-lineman the very next pick that they get. Because Shedeur, we all saw what happened the first year at Colorado when he had a terrible O-line. The Giants need to have a good O-line or Shedeur's not going to do anything.
Yep. My opinion on Shedeur Sanders is he's very much so like Caleb Williams, with the idea that he needs to get out and create something outside of the pocket.
Yeah.
But where Shedeur falls short is that he's not nearly as athletic as Caleb Williams. I haven't seen Shedeur's 4.4 or his 40-yard dash. I would assume it's close to 4.4. But he doesn't appear to me to be quite as shifty or nimble or can stop and go quite like Caleb can. That being said, Shedeur is going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL, and whoever gets him is going to be really lucky and look really smart. I don't necessarily know if the Giants is going to be the best situation for him.
I don't think it is either.
I'm worried that the way that these Colorado kids that have been really hyped up coming out, like Shedeur and Travis, that they're going to have such a media attention that going to a place like New York is going to be distracting almost. I hope I'm wrong for sure. I mean, I don't wish ill will on any of these players. I want them all to be successful, but I that just scares me. As if I was a Giants fan, I'd be worried about him paying it, like focusing, like I said with Travis. So I think that's the right pick for them for sure.
One thing I'll say about this is the last two picks with Jacksonville and New England, you did not wedge in a Seahawks thing.
I don't really like to associate anything with the Seahawks with New England, and I think we can all agree that that's still painful. But as for Jacksonville, we don't. I mean, they took our Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator and really didn't do anything after that. So I don't really have anything to sprinkle for them either.
All right, who do you have going to the Giants?
This one might shock you. I have Jalen Walker out of Georgia going to the Giants. They love themselves an edge rusher. They have that would make three of the best probably. All right, they'd be a really good core, really good solid rotation. But again, the Giants don't know what the right thing to do is, and I think they get it wrong. Do I think that Shedeur is the right pick? Absolutely, I do. I don't know if they're going to make it that.
No.
Personally, if I'm the Giants, I trade this pick. I think that you try to take as much of this Shedeur hype that you can and do something with it. Uh, I don't necessarily think that there is a. Um, I don't necessarily know if there's an answer for them in this draft. I think they need to really put all their eggs in the Arch Manning basket, maybe.
Well, when Arch Manning becomes available, Patrick Mahomes better be watching out.
Hey, you know what? He looks good too. I'm
And
excited
he
for
also
him.
needs to watch out for number 10 on the Broncos because he has his eyes on a Lombardi trophy.
I hope so. That'd be cool. We'll have to hit that. We'll have to hit that parade up if that happens.
Yeah. All right. The number 2 pick is Cleveland. Consequently, it's the Browns at number 2. Um,
You and these one-liners, man, you're so funny. That's so
but
good.
I have Travis Hunter going to Cleveland because, like I said in my last video, the Browns is where players go to have their careers die. The only player that I can see in this entire draft that can go to Cleveland and not have their careers go right off a cliff is Travis Hunter. He's just so good. He's just an elite player. I will state this, and if it doesn't, and if it like becomes apparent this is not true, I'll take full ownership of making this statement. He may be the best player in football history. Like not even gonna not
That's a
even gonna
bold take, man.
I mean he's just an elite player.
He's got good work ethic. I'll tell you that much. Man, I like I said before when I picked him earlier, he's just really got. I really think he's got to focus on one side of the ball. I think that if you do it right, um, personally, I think he's probably better suited to be a cornerback and then have multiple packages on offense that you can throw him in there. But I don't know if he can play 100 snaps at this level.
I mean that's what a lot of people I think are questioning about him. I mean we won't know until he tries. Like maybe in the preseason he'll try it, and if it doesn't work out, like I think that whatever position he chooses, he'll be good at. Like either whether he's wide receiver or cornerback. I mean, he's just great. Cornerback though, I do agree would be a better spot for him. Who do you have going to Cleveland?
Oh man, this is uh this is one I struggled with too. I had to really think about this one because they're in a really sticky situation with how they've managed their cap. So they've got I think he's number 2 now. Myles Garrett getting paid the second highest non-quarterback contract in the league.
Yeah.
And then they've got Deshaun Watson, who I don't think is going to play this year. I think I heard he re-tore his Achilles while rehabbing, so I don't think he's going to play this year. Plus, they basically fully guaranteed his contract, so they're wrapped up in the cap for a while. So I still went Abdul Carter to pair him with to pair him with Myles Garrett. That's the Browns just love themselves an edge rusher. I mean, they're obviously willing to pay top dollar for it. And this also helps them in the future if they decide they need to move on from Myles Garrett and they trade him. They've got somebody waiting in the wings.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's who he is, I guess.
I think that's a really good pick. They do love to do defense. To your point, Deshaun Watson is probably that trade was probably the worst trade in NFL history, besides the Broncos trading with Russell Wilson. That was a
Now, that one depends on your perspective. I thought that one worked out really well. Although I do miss my boy Russ. I was kind of hoping they were going to bring him back there after Gino left, but
well, he's in Steel Town right now, so who knows if he'll even be back there next year? We don't know. He'll probably.
yeah, he might be done. He might not find a job. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, the Cleveland Browns, they do need a good defense. Offensive wise, I do think that they need anything they can get. Like literally they need
Absolutely.
anything. Anything they can get, but good pick with Abdul Carter to Cleveland.
The Browns do have a Super Bowl winning quarterback on the roster now with Kenny Pickett. So,
Oh yeah. Only
so I don't know if
only
that'll.
only player in history to complete a fake slide. So, and that record is cemented
Yep, that's true.
by the lame-o NCAA.
All right, who's won, man? Who's
All
won?
right. We all know Tennessee is number one, and I think we have the same pick here.
I think everybody does.
Cam Ward goes to Tennessee. Last time I did have Tennessee picking up Shador because they had ties to him. This time I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Cam Ward goes to Tennessee. It's going to be a huge fit for him. I think it's a very good fit as well. They definitely do need a quarterback because Mayo is, or no, it's not.
I mean, he likes Mayo. Mr.
Okay.
Will Levis.
Yeah, well, yeah, I thought I was mixing him up with Drake May, but yeah,
That's really
that
funny that you went to Mayo because he's in like 6 mayonnaise commercials.
yeah, it's like he does love mayonnaise. He really does, but mayonnaise will not win you a Super Bowl.
That's true. That's true.
Cam Ward will win you a Super Bowl. Cam Ward is a really good player from Miami. I mean, I think that if Hunter, I mean, Ward was probably the best quarterback behind Shador in the country, if not the best quarterback in this draft. I think that like ESPN can say whatever they want, and they can say Cam Ward like was behind a couple of these players, but no, Cam Ward is the best player and quarterback available in this draft.
I definitely think he's the best available in this draft. I also have him going number one. Honestly, at this point, you could probably have Roger Goodell announce that already. I don't really think that there's a doubt that the Titans do this. The only thing I'm worried about from the Titans is that they trade that pick specifically to feed off this hype. I don't necessarily know if Cam Ward is going to be a world beater. I
No,
mean, he's good. I'm worried about his the way he's kind of lackadaisical in the pocket. Just kind of
he just
he just his throw is so smooth it looks lazy, which is just crazy to me.
yeah.
But it's I mean he's number one for a reason. I mean he killed it in Miami, and I hope he. I mean, you know what? I hope I'm wrong. I hope he leads the Titans to a Super Bowl someday, as long as it's not against me. But
I don't really see a good chance of the Seahawks going there for
hey, we got DeMarcus Lawrence too. It's rolling, man. We're gonna at least make the playoffs this year, and we'll be back. We'll be back.
well, don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you still have San Francisco and LA in your division.
It's, honestly, San Francisco is not going to be the same
No,
after
they're
this
not.
year. They have been picked apart, and I honestly, I feel it deep down that CMC's on the block. I think he's going to get traded either this year or next year. I'd
Yeah.
love to see a Denver homecoming too. I might not be a Denver person, first and foremost, but I'm Denver number two, and I hope that happens.
Uh, what was I gonna say? Von Miller could come to Denver. That's
That'd be nice. That'd be a cool return.
yeah.
One more ride.
Mm-hmm. No, we don't say ride. We don't say ride right here. No,
Ride's
no.
done now.
Dungeon
Ride's
says
done now.
we don't want the ride.
Okay, fair enough.
That ride was a absolute disaster. I think that we may have hit a couple of potholes along that ride.
Hey, you know what? All I can say is thank you for Devin Witherspoon and Charles Cross. That's all I can say.
Andrew Locke.
Drew Lock was okay. He did beat the Eagles, so I'll give him that.
Well,
And he screwed the Giants out of Cam Ward, so that there's that too. So um,
um,
I want to get your opinion on this because I'm not sure if you caught it. I didn't have Shadur going in the top 10.
you didn't?
No, I
Oh, I
didn't
didn't
pick.
notice that. You didn't have Shador going in the top 10?
I didn't have Shadur in the top 10.
Wow. Man, we'll see how that goes for you.
I think I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm not quite as high on him as a quarterback as some of these other players as I am on these other players in their positions. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Even if I'm picking number 3, and I've got the choice between Travis Hunter and Jalen Walker and Shadur, I'm not sure Shadur's the player I'm angling towards.
Yeah.
But as the Giants, yes, I should. But I don't know. Shadur is going to be a really good quarterback in the league for sure. I just don't necessarily know if teams are going to be willing to. I think there's some off the field things they're worrying about. Let's. I'm around this. I'm around this mock draft off. I'm gonna give you my Seahawks pick because I'm the Seahawks guy.
All right. Who's your Seahawk pick?
We're going Tyler Warren out of Penn State. Yes, sir. Yep.
That's a really good pick. Really good.
Yep. I think he's going to be the Taysom Hill in Seattle for sure. He's going to be our jack of all trades. I loved watching him this year. He's going to be a Seahawk. He's going to look so good in that navy blue
and neon green.
I don't think they're bringing the neon greens back this year. I think they're going to stick with the throwbacks, which is fine by me. I love the throwbacks, man. They're so clean.
Yeah, they are. And
love that royal blue and the Kelly green. So good.
Yeah. All right, there you go, folks. There is my mock draft 2.0. His mock draft 1.0, correct?
1.0.
1.0. So there you are. We're gonna. How about we plan for 2 weeks from today?
Sounds good. I'll keep doing my research.
All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I'll see you next time on CSN. Thanks, Jalen, for doing it.
Thanks. That's a cash money draft. Boom.